And ladies and gentlemen, we are currently in yet another game deciding match coming up right here, or a match deciding game, or what have you. This is two players, Fenix, the Terran in the top left, against Mondragon, the Zerg in the top right, tied 2-2. The winner of this advances to the semifinals of the PokerStrategy.com Team Liquid Star League and gets $1,000. Even if you lose, you get $500. But let's see if Mondragon can pull out some $1,000 brilliance, or whether Fenix, who was down 1-2 after the first three games, can manage to come back and win the series 3-2. I think there was a really famous statistic in OGN that was true for such a long time that I think in 90% of the best of fives that were in really important final matches, the person who won game one went on to win the series. It was so rare for players to lose the first game and then manage to come back and win the entire series. It's such a psychological blow to start off the series on the losing end. So I would be so impressed with Fenix, not just if he could pull through in any best of five, but especially against Mondragon, who apparently in the past was complaining about lag. And you know what? I actually will give Mondragon's complaint a lot of credit because, oh yeah, and Fenix, they're just, having a friendly chat. I love watching foreigners just, chat because they're just so pleasant with one another. But you know what? To give Mondragon's complaint quite a bit of credit, in that mid-game on Tornado, it was very difficult for Mondragon to properly micro all of those, oh, whoops, Karnak has his antivirus on in the replay. Oopsie doopsie daisies. But yeah, with that early Medic Marine group, managed to kill off a lot of Mondragon's Mutalisks. And I think that if Mondragon was in a completely lag-free environment, maybe he would have been able to be a lot more effective. Those Mutalisks, that initial 9 group, when you're going 3 hatch, is really important for picking stuff off, but primarily for containing the Terran. And I think that that was a big reason why Fenix was able to move out early and take out that right expansion, because he had the opportunity to have complete mid-game mobility. And uh-oh, we see a 2 barracks opening coming up for Fenix. Looks like Fenix was really happy with how the last game went. We saw against Cole, Fenix went for a 1 barracks expand, but not on this game right now. Fenix looks like he may have done an on-the-fly adjustment, just come back to this very aggressive opening, and maybe he'll be able to pull it through. We see a drone scouting at the bottom right. Mondragon is going 12 hatch. Everything seems to be going normally. And I'm just so eager for an epic, epic game. I'm curious if Mondragon's going to make use of that mineral expansion, because when we last saw Mondragon play on this map, he took the mineral expansion and he had drones mining there, but his minerals got so high. He had 5k minerals when the game ended against Braddock, excuse me. And I'm curious, again, as we've seen in this series, Mondragon's really stepped up his macro. I want to see if he's going to make that same mistake again, or whether he has a big plan in store to go mass Zergling. Because why would you not go mass Zergling? Again, the best part about solo casting is I get to talk about how sweet Zerglings are and how awesome Guardians are. Oh man, make Lings and Guardians, seriously. If those units don't exist in StarCraft 2, they really should, They're a strong unit, they change games. Nice little push out here from these Marines. Still extra Marines being produced, and oh, look at this. Fenix is not going for the fast expansion. He's instead opting for the Academy. I do not know if this is going to work very well. You can control this map so effectively with just your natural. I mean, again, if it's 1 basing Terran against effectively a 3 basing Zerg, I mean, the Zerg is just going to overrun him with just tons of units. But I like the fact that in this final game, we are seeing a completely new play from Fenix. He has not done this at any point during this series. We see an SCV still managing to scout around. Pretty standard everything going on by Mondragon. He is getting that very early creep colony. He doesn't want anything bad to happen, but this is very sneaky stuff going on right now by Fenix. Look at this. Look at the Marines at the ramp. Ooh, he stemmed? Or did he stem? Okay, no, never mind. I thought that Fenix actually stemmed to try to kill that Overlord, and I was like, ooh, I dislike that play. That really betrays what's going on. But it looks like this small group's going to push forward. I don't know if it's going to really do any damage. It really just depends if Mondragon can spot it in time. Mondragon throwing down a second something colony. Yeah, he should be okay, and the expansion now looks like it's finally going to go down for the Terran player. But this little push out can really screw a lot of people up. This is the sort of thing that you just don't really see very often. Look at how late that layer is. Normally we'd like that layer up way, way, way earlier, but given the circumstances, it's really important to not die. I mean, during Game 5. But a lot of players just go into autopilot and they're like, I'm just going to get my early thing. There we go. And oh, look, moving in, has to pull back, loses one Marine. I like that move in, though. I would have been a little bit more careful and see if I could perhaps spare a unit. But I like the idea behind that because, to be honest, a lot of players aren't going to morph that third something colony. They might start morphing it, see the attack force, and then just cancel. But by running forward like that, it really gets into your head. It really makes you think, Jesus, he wants to kill me. Look, Mondragon, making a fourth creep colony. There is no need to do this. There's only 2 medics right now for Fenix. But that is how concerned Mondragon is at this stage in the game, and I think that's exactly what Fenix wants. I don't see range getting upgraded. That's something I would really like to see coming out very, very early, so that way we could have maximum control against these Mutalisks. That looks like Mondragon is in fact getting Mutalisks. Oh god, I'm hoping for a long game. To be honest, I have the replay blocker up, so I have no clue. I literally, adrenaline is pounding. It might be the Red Bull. I'm pretty sure it's the adrenaline. Look, we see the engineering bay coming down. I like this opening a lot by Fenix. He's doing a lot of effort to control. Look at this, completely denying any sort of scouting. That Zergling did manage to get out. That's the last thing that Fenix wants to have happen. He wants to keep his opponent as in the dark as possible. So these Marines that are at the front, oh man, they need to back up a little bit. Okay, there we go. Perfect. Look, splitting those Marines up, denying any sort of scout that could potentially come in. Oh, that range is only just now getting upgraded, but it's going to be out in time for the Mutalisks. Wonderful timing by Fenix. Incredible, incredible final game. And look at Fenix. He is being spot on the money with his macro. He's transferring everything perfectly. I wish he was getting that +1 attack upgrade. He seems to like delaying it a little bit, but of course I am an upgrade monkey, so I always just hit, spam W, researching whatever I can. Getting some more units, continuing to macro, much smoother than the other games where we saw a lot of queuing going on. Very impressed with Fenix's overall play. Mondragon looking a little bit bumpy, looking a little shaken up from that early aggression. Doesn't have enough money to take a 4th base yet, to take his 3rd gas, but he is going to get about 9 Mutalisks out right in time. Those Overlords did hatch. Looks like he's waiting until he can make all of them simultaneously, which is kind of cute. I don't see the issue in just making them right away. 59 food, max reserved right now, as standard as can be. 4 Firebats outside the front. I like that early on. Fantastic. We're blocking those Zerglings. We're keeping the Zerg contained. And now this is a spot. You heard me talk about this in Tornado, how Fenix was advancing forward to deny any drone from sneaking out and taking another expansion. It's exactly what that group did right there. Mondragon has no units in the center of the map. The only vision he has is these 2 Overlords at the top side of the map. And now these turrets are going to be coming down. 4th barracks coming up right now. Still no +1. And I really think if there's one thing Fenix was probably practicing after his series against Cole, was making sure that he was very good at holding off this Mutalisk harass. We see some turrets going down at the top, but there's only one finished. These other turrets are at about half-life. If Mondragon can kill this off, look, killing off both those SCVs, mismicroing just a little bit, and those Marines can get there in time. Look at this beautiful split. There's about 12 Marines up at the top with a medic there. Oh, yes, 2 medics. Oh, yes, managing to get right in there, controlling everything. But, Mondragon's Mutalisk control has been stepped up quite a bit. No lag this game, no excuse. More Fenix's Marines coming to the top. Looks like 6-7 Marines have been taken out up at the north end. And Fenix has actually canceled those turrets. Either that or one of them got killed off. At least one of them was canceled. Getting some gas stockpiling right now for Fenix, which is great. He's going to be spending all that on upgrades and size vessels later on. Mondragon only just now taking his 3rd gas. If we return to Mondragon's main, he's getting a 4th hatch in his main next to that bottom base, which brings him up to 5 hatches total. He has the Queen's Nest making, he has Lurkers making, he's getting a +1 upgrade, spending that money. I'm sure hoping he's going to be using that hatchery that's at his mineral natural in order to make as many Zerglings as possible, because as you'll know, Zerglings kick ass. Continuing to make a whole lot of units out of these 4 barracks. Running up there, doing a little bit of damage to that turret, but great control by Fenix. Trying to be careful. Look at that. Oh, that Marine at the front is just begging to be sniped, but Fenix does a marvelous job of controlling. Still no upgrade coming out for Fenix. I think that's really going to come back to hurt him a lot in the later stages of the game. The Zerg player is beating the Terran player in terms of upgrades. It's a +1 carapace upgrade started before the Terran's +1 attack upgrade. That is a big, big no-no. Only now is the engineering gateway getting the +1 attack upgrade. Sorry, excuse the speako, aka the typo for language. So he's repairing that thing. He's getting the additional turrets there set up. This harassment is so aggressive by Mondragon. Looks like he didn't opt for any sort of attack upgrades. He really just is that good. Bottom right expansion is done now. Let's see if there's any drones that are going to be transferred. No, there are no drones being transferred right now. I really think Mondragon should have had those up a lot earlier. That extra hatchery in the main has just popped up, and that's going to be super helpful. And that bottom right base doesn't actually have anything making out of it. Small medic marine group advancing forward for Fenix, but that's dangerous. That's going to get sniped off by this medic marine lurker group. Look how many lings and lurkers are at the front. Not a ton, but more than enough to completely demolish this little troop marching out into the center of the map. Tech advancing forward. We see the factory getting the add-on. We see the starport being made. And oh no, look at this. These marines and firebats are getting caught off guard. The Mutalisks do end up pulling back, and it looks like he's going to catch all these drones off guard. Oh no, the drones have to fall back, but 2 lurkers are at the ramp. Oh, I thought they were on hold position. Therefore, I made a Mutalisk noise, by the way. I don't have Chill to tell me I'm bad at it. Oh yeah, I can make a muted noise. Not as good as my Overlord, though, which I save for special occasions. So we do have this medic marine group out, moving towards the front of Mondragon's base, and I like this overall technique. Just continuing to put a lot of stuff outside the front of the Zerg's base, especially if you feel like you're at an advantage. The hive is done, the Defiler Mat is being made, and look at Mondragon making a Nidus Canal already, gonna Nidus all the way to that bottom right expansion. Looks like, though, Mondragon is going to try to crush this little attack force of Fenix. Uh-oh. Here it comes, attacking at all sides. Look at this beautifully timed flank. Lurkers burrowed nice and far out of range to ensure that they don't get sniped off, because that's a big mistake a lot of players are going to do. When they advance forward to try to kill that medic marine group, they'll get way too eager with those lurkers, and when the lurkers die, the Terran player can easily advance down and completely demolish the expansion without any real difficulty. Second starport going down right now. Trying to look around to see if we have some sort of science facility being made. There it is, going down right now. A lot of gas currently in the bank for Fenix. Using that medic marine group pretty effectively to contain the front, but right now Mondragon already has the +1 armor upgrade done. Nothing being researched out of the evolution chamber for Mondragon at this point in time. Looks like that Nidus Canal on the bottom right is done, and ladies and gentlemen, I would just like to state that for the record of how happy I am that we are in the midst of the Game 5 deciding match between 2 incredible players, and we very clearly are going into the late game. Yet another Morph to Greater Spire. Oh, feeling like it's my birthday today. I am getting to see Guardians in almost every single game I'm watching right now. This is great. Getting that second engineering bay, and look at that. Yeah, that's what we want to see, Fenix. We want to see that +2 attack upgrade going down immediately. Up to 6 barracks being added on now, and if we look at the natural, or the mineral natural of Fenix, we have some SCVs there, also getting ready to expand. Fenix is gearing up to just go into mass production mode, to hopefully overrun Mondragon, and advance into the semifinals. So we see now all these Defilers are now consuming, and look at this wonderful little arc. 4 Firebats, they're going to do a ton of damage. Tank advancing out. Still don't have our first science vessel forward, opting for a dropship instead, and look at this, getting mines with vultures. We don't have the mine upgrade yet, just getting the vultures right now, but this contain means that we don't necessarily need the science vessels that early on. We can instead get the dropship, we can try to do damage, a pure marine drop getting ready to go, it looks like to the bottom right side, and look at the swarms at the front, pushing everything back. Fenix has to fall back immediately without getting the opportunity to do very much damage. Picking off some Zerglings here and there, trying to slow down the push, tank firing a little bit. Those science vessels desperately need to come out for Fenix, and 2 are en route. Mines are also being researched. Mondragon needs to stay a little bit steady now. He's getting his Defilers, he's trying to consume, he has a few more at home. He has 2 evolution chambers, but he's not researching out of them. And oh, look at this at the bottom left, unloading. He might just try to grab up this medic marine group that's at the expansion, and also try to pull that back. Look at that! Look at that incredible focus by Fenix at the bottom. He had a medic marine group just hanging out there. He saw a dark swarm. He didn't even see any units, just a swarm, and he pulled right back. The drop at the bottom right, yes, gets completely denied at the bottom left side of the bottom right base. Haha, that's what I wanted to say. Lots of units being made right now, getting more vultures, getting those upgrades, queuing up some science vessels, and expanding to that mineral natural, which is going to help so much for adding on 3 or even 4 more barracks. defiler is going to fall. Dropship is now falling back to the base. And though Mondragon has a good tech completion, and he's morphing Guardians at the top, Fenix has solid map control, exactly the way the mid game should look for Terran. And I think these Guardians are, instead of going for this expansion at the left, instead of going for Fenix's natural, I think these Guardians might have a lot more use if they aided out in this push. I'm such a huge fan of that. It's a very underused technique. And the Mind Drag! Is it going to do it? Oh my god, the Mines do not end up backfiring and killing off all of Fenix's units, and Fenix is going to go for it. The Lurker's doing a lot of damage to the Medic Marine. The Firebats are going to manage to kill it off, but not without some serious losses. And oh, the Scourge coming in! Oh, taking out 2 Science Vessels. The Guardians are done at the north. We'll see if they'll be advancing forward. And Fenix trying to keep that pushback as long as possible. He's trying to keep this contained down at the bottom side. He's trying to macro as best he can. His money's getting high, though, now that he has that natural expansion with those minerals. Another amazing plague by Mondragon. His trademark in this entire Team Liquid Star League has been his ability to constantly hit that G key where it counts the most. And here comes yet another swarm. Zerglin's going to come in and demolish all those 1 health units. That's cute. We're trying to see some mines getting planted in the swarm. Not so much getting done there. Expansion down at the bottom left, expansion at the left side. That's how Fenix is going to spend that money as he's getting that 7th and 8th barracks up. But as Zergling spots the bottom left expansion, and look, here come the Guardians advancing into the expansion of the natural of Fenix. Oh, there's some Marines there, but they are going to get demolished. Look at what short work those Guardians make of those Marines. This would be a great opportunity to do the Eraser move, where you irradiate your own Science Vessels and patrol them back and forth. We don't see any Scourge anywhere in sight. Trying to get some Marines back there to reinforce. Looks like one of the Guardians falls, and there's another one at 20 life. It falls. Great targeting by Fenix. And look at Fenix still having the focus at the bottom right to remove those Marines into a better location. Scourge taking out a Science Vessel at the natural expansion. The Guardians doing a ton of damage to that refinery, and you absolutely do not want to lose this refinery at this stage in the game. You need that gas for the Science Vessels. He needs to repair that. He's trying to get more Science Vessels. There's one at his expansion that has enough money, but oh, 4 Guardians continuing to reinforce. And look at, also at the right side of the base, right side of the map, Fenix is sending Marines in, denying that expansion, trying to make sure that he is doing everything in his power to keep pressure on Mondragon in the midst of this crisis at his natural. Two of his vessels now have enough for Irradiate, needs to be a little bit more snappy about getting those Irradiates out. There goes one, trying to check for the greatest health Guardian, trying to irradiate. It doesn't want to spend too much because there's this huge push coming at the front. The mines are being laid. The Zerglings are trying to snipe them, but the mines are just not going off. Here they go, and BAM! Taking out all of those Zerglings. That push is done. There is no way it's going to be able to advance that quickly, but look at this mess of blood. Fenix miscontrolling for a split second and losing incredible amounts of units. Fenix trying to control mine going off in the center of the map. That Guardian threat is finally held off, but Fenix needs to regroup. He's losing all his stuff in the middle of the map. He still has this Medic Marine group at the right side being as active as he possibly can. His main is now getting mined out, but that's okay, because if Fenix can get control of the center, he's going to be able to take that left expansion. He's going to be in great shape. Drones going down the right side. Oh my god! Get him! My octave range is exploding as I'm trying to see if he'll be able to get those drones in time. Fortunately, the drones just kind of corner themselves. These 2 Marines are going to make short work of it. And look, right outside Mondragon's natural is a small group of Marines, and even though, well, they're going to get taken out because, you know, Fenix isn't focusing right there because there's just so much going on. Look at Fenix just trying to battle outside his front, but any little unit that you can have outside the front of the Zerg's base is great because it's going to deny that push. And we're trying to get into that critical count of Science Vessels, 9 barracks, pouring out Medic Marine. All of them get plagued, though. If you have 6, 7, 8 Science Vessels, there is very little Zerg can do about it, especially when you have the ability to split them up, to dart around the map, to irradiate every Defiler or any gas unit that pops out of any of those bases. But Mondragon, look at this. Look at his money. It's at 1,000, which is kind of high. We don't like that, but he is doing a much better job than in his games against Brad OK of keeping his money very, very low. Starting to get more centered control right now for Fenix, and currently this game could go either way. Good economy right now for both players. Need to get those upgrades out as the Terran player. Still at just 2-1. And the Zerg is currently out upgrading the Terran. The Zerg is going to be at 2-3 much earlier than the Terran's going to be at 3-2. So currently, Mondragon looking in good shape. Even though he doesn't have complete decisive center control, he's pushing pretty dangerously far forward. And this is the point at which we really need to see the Terran player aggressively dart across the right side of the map. Some Zerglings trying to swing around to the bottom side. Will they get in? Indeed they will. A bunker trying to go down, and the push is going on. Look at this great job by Mondragon. Continue to regroup the center, and having these Zerglings here. Oh no, they get stuck. They don't do any damage to that command center. Maybe we'll see a queen be popped out. I'm going to briefly check around the map to see if I see that. Looks like that is going to be cleaned up at the left side of the map. Bunch of SCVs getting queued up for Fenix. And if we look, we see in the top right corner, Ultralisk armor upgrade is going down. And that is why it is so important for Terran to get the upgrades for the Marines. He needs to get them. They have been consistently late throughout this entire series. He's getting the second factory. He needs to get a whole bunch of tanks to be able to hold everything off. But look at this. Whole bunch of overlords at the top moving into Fenix's base, and Fenix is curling around to the bottom side. See if he can manage to take out those bottom expansions. Science Vessel moving into the center, trying to do a little bit of damage there. And it doesn't look like these overlords full of units at the top have unloaded yet. They're just sort of hanging out, biding their time. It means Mondragon is also taking the bottom island, and here they go, getting ready to be unloaded, and all of Fenix's units are nowhere near this location. All those supply depots, the juicy supply depots. You can plague them, you can kill them with Zerglings. Either way, it's awful for Fenix. And those engineering bays, which honestly should be done making and should be lifted, have only just now started, so this drop at the top is going to be much more dangerous than initially expected. And here the Science Vessel swinging around. Oh no, look at Mondragon's natural. Look at the natural, there is nothing there to defend. And if we go and look in the main of Fenix, these engineering bays are going to fall so quickly, which means Fenix is going to be ultra far behind. And look at this, I'm trying to see a little bit of magic go on with these Science Vessels, trying to do some irradiate, but this drop is where all the focus is for Fenix right now. That big medic Marine group, if he was able to irradiate, he could have moved right into Mondragon's natural and potentially just killed it off right there. Two more engineering bays being built at the top left, one more engineering bay being built at the top left. Fenix still doing a pretty good job of controlling the map, trying to deny the right side, but the Zerg is just getting too many expansions. The Terran is almost maxed, but so is the Zerg, and a maxed Zerg is one of the most frightening things in all of StarCraft. Here comes Mondragon trying to kill off the right side, sending a whole bunch of stuff down, but there are just too many medic Marine there, and there is no support. It does not look like there is any speed being researched for the Ultralisks. Oh, speed's already done. Never mind. And if we look, here comes the big push by Mondragon, but the mine's doing so much damage. Those mines are going to be pivotal in holding off this attack, but there unfortunately is just not that many units. Another beautiful swarm going down by Mondragon. Oh, where are the Science Vessels? They need to just cross-map and get there immediately. There are just no Science Vessels anywhere in sight. A pretty good plague, managing to get 5 Marines, but not the best plague we've ever seen. And look at this push. This push got denied pretty hard. It doesn't really matter too much, though. Mondragon is having pretty solid control. He's taking the top, and he's taking the bottom. Bottom left is down for Fenix, but I don't know if he's going to be able to make good work with it, because currently Fenix is in a bind. He has just pushed really far back. All he has in the center is a handful of mines and some Science Vessels, and it looks like some more units are being dropped in the main. Fortunately, there's a Science Vessel and some Medic Marine being controlled there. And if we look at the bottom right corner, look at Mondragon making short work of the only center Medic Marine group of Fenix. Fenix is increasingly losing grip of this game. It's slowly sliding away from them. We see those Zerglings in the main were trying to do a little bit of damage, but they couldn't quite get in there because those Marines were being positioned properly. Out in the front, Fenix is now getting the chance to have his enormous army swell down that ramp and managed to start getting a little bit more center control. A lot of gas being mined down at the bottom left, going straight for that geyser. Needs to get a lot of tanks. Not getting the armory upgrade, needs that +1 attack, and still needs that +3, +2 Medic Marine upgrade. Mondragon is already 2-3. I mean, Mondragon is also probably going to be getting that +3 attack upgrade for ground, and maybe even the spine upgrade, which Mondragon has been known to do. Money's still getting a little high, still at 2,000 minerals for Mondragon. Would like to see a bit more vessels. And the dropship at the top right corner of the map, is it going to get everything out? No! We only managed to get 5 Marine out, and unfortunately, a ton of Ultralisks just spawned right there. Now, Fenix is pretty close to maxed, but a maxed army without a lot of tank support is going to be pretty easy for Mondragon to push back. And look at the main, huge drop in the main, taking out tons of supply depots. Right now, Fenix can no longer build to the max cap. He's able to take out these Ultralisks pretty easily, but the problem right now is that Mondragon, all he needs to do is just drop the top left and drop the bottom left. And look here at the bottom of the map, the Filers, Ultras, Lings, and some Hydras to boot, getting ready to take out that bottom left Expo. This is going to be such a rough position for the Terran player unless he's able to do something. 3 Marines going over the right side, managing to take out some drones, but they're not taking them out that quickly because they don't have very high upgrades, and that 3 armor is really denying the effectiveness of those Marines. And the bottom left getting attacked now has to lift. And this entire enormous army for Fenix, rather than being devoted to controlling the center and getting in good positions, is instead trying to be the cleanup crew and trying to control all the possible places that Mondragon can attack, and that's just not the spot you want to be in. And if we look into the center, Mondragon expanding to mid, because to be honest, when you have that much money, why not? You know, you can do a little extra gas. And at the bottom, another incredible plague. What an epic final game to this series. Fenix still trying to hold on, still trying to get some sort of big push going on here. But Mondragon has so much of the map. He has the entire right side and the islands. And we see yet another big drop, gearing up to drop the top side of the map. It looks like these Ultralists, also near the bottom left, are making short work of this increasingly weakening army. And oh my god, look, all those tanks are getting obliterated. There's almost no map control that Fenix has left. Mondragon sees victory, is so close around the corner. This final drop, but Mondragon's not letting up. He's being relentless, continuing to macro all his larva producing units. And all these supply depots at the north end are gonna fall. Oh my god, and the army in the center is also cleaning everything up. And this left expo for Fenix looks like it is going to go down. There's virtually no way Fenix can hold this off at 95 food against the max army of Mondragon. Fenix trying to put up every fight he can, irradiating. He has almost a full group of vessels trying to pick off these Ultras at the left expansion. He'll probably take them out. But an infested command center at bottom left. And even with 89 food, Fenix is running the risk of going into the red. And more Ultras pouring into the left. Tons of Zerglings. These SCVs are falling. Mondragon's center expansion is finishing, not losing focus, producing out of them, getting gas up there as much as possible. More radiates going down everywhere. Almost no way Fenix can pull through right now. He is almost completely mined out, and good game. Fenix manages to win the series 3. Whoa! Mondragon manages to win the series 3-2 against Fenix. Fenix put up a phenomenal fight in this series. We saw all sorts of strategies employed. We saw cheese, we saw mech, we saw 2 racks, we saw standard play, and everyone really demonstrated their true colors today. I think it was a phenomenal series. Both series got to get to Game 5 today. We saw a lot of serious, intense actions. I mean, I know that I am just completely drained. My voice is tired from all the excitement and the screaming. And right now, this means that in the semifinals of this bracket coming up, we have Mondragon against Sen. So that is going to be an epic Zerg vs. Zerg. Mondragon, unlike Ret, Mondragon has been playing Zerg vs. Zerg for an incredibly long time and is probably going to be a little bit more comfortable with Sen's mass Zergling antics in the opening. And coming up tomorrow, we have the other round of 8 matches in the PokerStrategy.com TSL. In the upper bracket, we have White Ra playing against JF, the 2 Protoss superstars, going on tomorrow. And we also have Idra versus Noni coming up after that. The epic Civil War. So we get Protoss versus Protoss and Terran versus Protoss action tomorrow for any of you who've had too much Zerg today and are jonesing for a little bit more. So that means that our contenders currently for the final are Sen, Mondragon, Sen, Mondragon, White Ra, JF, Idra, and Noni. And as you've heard, Noni thinks that tomorrow will be the match of the tournament. He thinks that he will be able to take out Idra, and whoever wins his game will be the winner of the tournament. So definitely tune in tomorrow. We got my brother, the infamous Tasteless, casting, and we also have his partner in crime, Artosis, forming the handsome nerd duo, the Casting Archon. And for me, and for Chill, who had technical difficulties with Ventrilo and couldn't chat, thanks so much for tuning in, and good night.